Pastor Mboro. If you grew up in the late 2000s and 2010s or even alive during the time, there's no way you haven't heard the name Pastor Mboro. The man was almost about as famous as Hannah Montana back in the day. He was everywhere in SA. He had his own mega churches and everything. He was still on the rise then, but I'm pretty sure now he's reached the financial state he planned to be in back then. And I honestly feel sorry for any individual who honestly believes these pastors' main aims, quote unquote, is to get you to heaven. As long as you give me this large sum of money, I can get you to heaven. Hi, my child. My name is Pastor Sambit, and I heard you've been going through so much. And why don't you join my church? We have a service every single Sunday. And as long as you just donate about 1,000 Rand at least 1,000 Rand every month, I can guarantee you're going to heaven, because God will see this donation you have given the church, and because of that you will have more grace and you will go to heaven. It's just another one of those things pastors use to get people to pay them large sums of money to get to heaven. A friend of mine used to call them thieves back in the day, and if I can just show you just now the things he's accused of, they are harsh. Alright, these are not your regular average Joe criminal court case accusations. Right, I just wanted to show you that to put you on game real quick, because let's be honest, he is not exactly the first pastor to try and do this to people. What I'm saying is he's not exactly the first man to try and be a pastor to do this to people. I can tell you there have been millions of people in this country, or in any African country in general, to come here and claim to be sent by God and promise very insecure people that are facing tough times in their life that they can get to heaven as long as they just pay them the certain amount of money, right? I don't know what's with us Africans, but we have a tendency of believing anything we see. If we see a shark's sharp hump in the water, someone out there is going to think they saw a mermaid, and it's going to trend in social media faster than how long it took CM Punk to come back. So, actually scratch that out, faster than his UFC career. No offense, CM Punk, I love you, you're my favorite. So, it's just what I was saying about all these pastors. They find this way to exploit these insecure people, particularly young people, right? Their target is usually like young growing people who don't know much about church life, and very old people who are experiencing bad times, right? They're not going through the best of times. And they usually target these people because as a person who's going through dark days, you'll know that you are in for anything that can just get you out of there, right? Whatever feeling, whatever thing you may need, as long as it can get you out of that dark hole you're in, you will want it to get it out there, and you will come out there. That's what you think. So then these pastors take that advantage, right? Then they target these people. They're like, I know what you're going through. I understand. You should start coming to church more, right? You should start donating money. And I'm telling you, as long as you start drinking doom and eating grass, you are going to heaven, sir. You are going to fast. You are going to heaven, even in a higher position than St. Peter, the vicar of Christ himself. If you just follow these steps, if you just buy my course, if you just buy any of this or continue paying these fees at church, I'm telling you, you will go to heaven. He's not the only one who's done this. I personally believe all the pastors should be investigated, because okay, let's talk about, because it makes you question Christianity as a whole, right? There's genuine pastors who are there for the well-being of their communities, right? That's just true. It's just true. But then there's those pastors who are not there for their community. They're just there for the money. I have a friend who donated 100K 6 years ago to a pastor. Where that pastor is now, I don't know. And she doesn't know too. But guess what? That pastor probably made the fastest 100K in his entire life. 100,000 doubloons, just by convincing someone that if they did that, all the demons in their life would disappear and they would go to heaven. Wow. Is that what I really have to do nowadays? You're telling me if I just open a church, right, put a tent outside at the park and get a microphone and a speaker and start saying the word of God, people will actually start coming, and then I have to convince them to pay me money, and then now I have to start targeting the insecure and the insecure people and people going through shit? Is that all I have to do to get rich now? I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me earlier? It's definitely what many other people are doing. You know, you get these pastors coming from God knows where. Then they come to places like these, developing countries like SA, convincing very insecure people that they are from God and they want the best for you and they want you to go to heaven. And then you start paying them money. And they use the word the church. You must pay the money to the church. And this, it's not going to the church, it's going to them. If it was going to the church, then tell me why they're having these lavish lifestyles while you are still in the same position, going to the same tent you've been going in for the past half decade, sir or ma'am. It's not going to the church. If it was, that church would have been upgraded, but it's still that same tent, that same speaker, that same microphone. If it still works, as long as it still works, he's going to use it. That same microphone the pastor's using. But guess what? Go check the car he's driving. Go check the house he lives in. Go check the TV. Go check the schools his kids go to. Just because of that money you donate to him at church to thank him for trying to take you to heaven. I'm telling you, this trend of all these pastors coming out and preying on these insecure people is becoming bad. It's been bad, it always will be bad, and it needs to stop. And just tell me what you guys think about this, because this is actually one of those uncalled for situations that are faced. I think it's also because of the diversity of South African religion. You know, we live in a rainbow nation, so we can't really judge other people's religions. And I wouldn't say it's judging, it's just pointing out corruption and pointing out exploitation, because some people are genuinely using religion to cover up their crimes. Pastor Mboro is accused of things like money laundering and so forth. I don't even want to say the other things, I'm just going to show you on the screen. But anyway, it's just what I wanted to cover. You know, your boy is in court. Pastor Mboro is in court today. That's why we spoke about him today, because of those accusations. Right now, live on the SABC News, he is having his court hearing. The last time he was having his court hearing, he and his bodyguard had bail, but now it's another court hearing live right now. There's about 1,000 people watching, so I recommend you watch. But before you go and watch that live stream, I recommend you like and subscribe, because this is the most raw, unfiltered, and genuine channel you will ever find on YouTube. And that's not even an opinion, it's a fact. And here's a spoiler to add to that fact. I ain't going nowhere. I was in a dark place a few days ago, and guess what? I'm out as a light, back and bright, back and black, back and better. Alright, it's just what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Tell me what you think, though, about this entire situation. See ya.